Should I tell the truth?
Yeah, tell the truth. Sure.
I mean, the truth and nothing but the truth, right? Always up. Always up at night. Drinking, cocaine, the works. Put me in jail. Well, because my dad was so cruel to me, I turned to music. You know, that was my only friend that I had. I turned to music as a companion. I would get home from high school in my 11th year of high school, and I go to the kitchen, usually get some milk or orange juice. Then I go right downstairs to my bedroom, where I had my hi-fi set and my piano and my Hammond organ. And I would throw on a Four Freshman record, and I'd pick up where I left off the day before. The point is that I never quit. So I got the whole arrangement done, verbatim, from their record. And to where I knew that what was on my piano was exactly on their record. I knew it, because I could hear it. And that's how I did rock and roll when the Beach Boys first started getting going. Was you get these simple ideas, and they go and they go and they go through your brain, and all of a sudden it ends up on a piano and then in a studio. It's amazing. There was a very distinguished writer named Arthur Kessler, and he, after a lot of careful research and study and all that in his life, he discovered that the human mind is broken up into three areas, three categories. First is humor. Second is science, which he calls discovery. And the third is art. Now, the one thing that really blew me out about that book was that the first rule of ego is humor. So in other words, when people get together, they're more apt to want to be funny, out of instinct and ego than they are artistic or scientific, like intellectual, I got beaten around by my dad. There's a spanking. One kind of spanking is like, but the way I had it, instead of just a little tap, it was more like my dad would double over his belt, and he'd have us take our pants down to our shoes and lean over the bathtub, right? And it's like, you can imagine a spanking like, with, but his voice and his thing was more, very, very hard. And we laugh sometimes when we think about those days, but pretty tough business. My mom took me over to a record shop called LaShawn's Records. We went in there and she said, you can take records in these little booths and play them to see if you want to buy them. They were called demonstration booths. Remember those? Wallace Music City had them. Right. So I went in there and I took a Four Freshman album in there. And I absolutely, something magic happened to my head. I instantly transcended. I was like, whew, never, ever. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It gave me so much spiritual strength that it came out of me, You know how you sit in a sauna bath and your pores will open and the sweat will come out? That's what that whole experience in that record store did to me. I purged all kinds of bullshit and picked up the Freshman. It was magic, total magic. The prayer session took direction of Jesus Christ, and it got into the area of praying for people, and we also prayed for an album. We didn't have a title or nothing, for an album that would be a rival to Rubber Soul, and praying to rival. It was all kind of like, it was a prayer, but there was some ego there. There was spirit. You know what I mean? So we really very cleverly intertwined prayer with competitive spirit, and it worked. Pet Sounds happened immediately. Caroline No was one of the few songs that I ever wrote under the influence of marijuana. So I smoked some marijuana one afternoon, and I had my collaborator over, Tony Asher, over at my house with me. And I went to the piano and I wrote that song in about 20 minutes. And you know how like a girl have her hair down halfway down her waist, and and all of a sudden her hair is like short? Not like Sinead O'Connor. I don't mean bald. I'm just saying, just this word trip. And then she hardens. She gets hard, you know. The girl that cut her hair off, she gets hard, and she lost a glow that she used to have. And it really put this guy to pieces. He felt real sad. Because she didn't love him anymore. I was a little embarrassed about my voice, but everybody told me it sounded good. So I, you know. So I just said, all right, good. I felt very, very paranoid about my voice. I was walking to the market with my mother, and a dog barked at her. And I said, I said, that dog barked at you, Mom. And she goes, well, he probably picked up the vibrations and didn't like me. So he barked. And he goes, some dogs bark at some people, but won't bark at other people. So she said it was the vibrations that he picked up. So from there, I went and I said, good vibrations. I thought of that one time. So good, we had that much. Then I had on the piano like, God, love the photo closet. I didn't finish. I wrote it in sections. You know what I mean? That's called the verse. That was written, let's see. Gold Star. We did that at Gold Star. Well, Mike came over to my house, and I had this melody that went boom, 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 boom. And it's like a boom, 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 boom. It was kind of an R&B thing, you know? And so he goes, wait a minute, keep going. He goes, I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitation. And we were blasted out. We both were blown away. I had a great problem with the Beach Boys, and I wanted to do my kind of music, and they wanted to do their kind of music. So it was a tug of war. I felt like I was getting pulled to pieces, you know, like two inner turmoil with that struggle with a seesaw, kind of teeter-totter kind of thing, you know, where I was being pulled all around, you know, and I like fell to pieces. The true inner nature of our voices came out to play, you know, how you'll have your soul, you know, and then maybe once in a blue moon, your soul might come out and play, you know, and just express itself. You know. It can't be rushed. You can't tell a child to rush. You know I mean, nature's nature. I dropped out somewhere in the mid '70s, and chief reason why I dropped out was because I had experimented with too many drugs, and the drugs that I took really messed my brain up, really fouled my mind up. My thinking process went right to you know, somewhere else, you know. That and the fact that I had a lot of depression with the Beach Boys. I couldn't talk to the Beach Boys. Nobody would relate to me. The guys they wouldn't relate to me. So this went on for quite a while, but on and off I'd go and record, you know. But basically, I did about 10 years on and off of bedroom scene, in my bedroom all the time. JFK got shot to death, and so we were like a little bit despondent about it, you know. Mike and I. He called me up and said, "Well, what do you think?" You know, I thought that's terrible. And he goes, "Well, do you want to write a song in tribute to JFK tonight at your office?" I said, "Sure." So we met at my office around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening, just when the sun was going down. A very spiritual night. We had windows. My office had a lot of windows, so you could see a view, panoramic view, you know, of the city and stuff. So we got going, and I don't know, a mood took over. It was like uh, something took us over. Like Danny Hutton and his group. He has a record called My Impersonal Life. And in that song, he goes, be still and know that everything's all right. Oh, wow, I like that. That's what I need, you know?
He wants everything to be all right.
I'm never, ever still. I'm always in turmoil, you know?
Hoping
That somebody will save me or something will come along and save my life or save my day, you know?
Or that the world will be all
Right.
right.
That the world won't blow up, the universe won't explode, we don't never have each other again, you know? I have my fears. At this point, I think so, yeah. I think we're more, I say we're like I'm a group or something. Her and me, and we're on the brink of something.